The last couple of weeks, I've been super cranky, pretty irritable, uncomfortable, even just being with myself. And I started to get curious about where this irritability was coming from. And as I was watching it, I noticed a couple of things. So, day in and day out, and just as we are as humans, we have the capacity to be in many places at once. A great example of this is worrying. If you spend a lot of time worrying, what that is you are taking part of your energy and literally sending it to the future so that you can problem solve ahead of time. Or similarly, if you are dealing with regret, it's like worrying about the past, right? Reliving a situation in your head. You're literally sending your energy from the now moment to the past to sweep things up. And oftentimes with worrying, it becomes like a subconscious action. Now, most of the time we're picking up on a lot more than we are conscious of. Empaths deal with this a lot, where they are picking up on other people's emotions. I think we all have the capacity to do this when you walk into a room and you just pick up on a certain energy, and you may or may not be conscious of it, but it is something you're sort of tracking on some level. So all these things are happening all of the time, basically, even when we're sleeping, when we're dreaming. Even as you become conscious of where and when your energy is out of you, you are still basically scanning situations all the time. And I notice for me that as I go through periods of expansion in my life where there's lots of growth, new understanding and reorientation, that essentially the area in which my energy is circling and checking things out gets bigger. So what that means is my energy that used to go here, 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 checking things out, worrying, thinking about other things, planning, imagining, working on vision, is now here. And so what was this that might have been uncomfortable but I got used to slowly becomes something more like this. Now it's like a pendulum swinging. And pendulums, once they start swinging, they swing further and further out. And so not being aware that that's what was happening was one of the things that started to make me irritable. Because I was used to a smaller movement. Now my energy is a completely different movement, and a lack of awareness caused me to basically become the pendulum that was swinging. So here we go into really wide mood changes, drastic changes from sometimes moment to moment, where I'm sitting in one space and then I'm feeling completely different in another space. Now, once I got eyes on that allowed me to be able to make a conscious choice of where I wanted to sit in this space and where I wanted to sit in my own energy. So now I am better or more aware of, at least when I am or am not, seated in my own center. So I can still have my energy going out and tracking things and picking up information and having different experiences without actually being the pendulum that's swinging. I'm still able to have experiences and emotions, but seated in my own center, right? And it's funny because the last week or two, there are a lot of astrological things happening, big eclipse, Mercury in retrograde, this type of thing. And it brings me back to a conversation about divination. So these external things can help us. They basically act as mirrors for us, but they are not the reason that we are the way we are or feel the way we feel. And I think that at one point I could have looked at my irritability and extreme mood swings and thought, oh, well, of course, it's the stars. This is why it is the way that I am. And that type of thing can be influential, but it goes both ways. And to some extent, the reason the stars are the way they are is because you are the way you are. So when I looked to the astrological happenings, it didn't explain why I was the way I was, but it did kind of confirm for me that my swinging was more extreme than normal. And that was because of my own doing and my own experience. It wasn't something outside of me that was causing me to be a certain way. It was just acting as a mirror to help validate something that I already felt was true. And so I guess I'm recommending to keep that in mind. We love to use external objects to explain the way we are, and I would love to see that emphasis put almost reversed, so that we remember that they're mirrors of us and not causing us to be a certain way. We're not victims to the stars, right? We are constantly interacting and exchanging with the stars.